is that what that is?
Yes.
Because we couldn't figure out, this is very archaic and hard to understand.
Yeah.
It's sharpshooter with rifle is the expert.
That's what it is.
So, we found out on the internet that you got that this is the combat infantry badge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the reason your Bronze Star isn't on here because they awarded that after.
Later, I just got it a few years back.
Yeah.
Because they decided everyone who had a combat infantry badge deserved a Bronze Star.
Mm-hmm.
That combat infantry badge pays $10 a month.
Yeah, we saw that.
The only way you get that is enemy small arms fire. Artillery don't count.
Do you remember what instance you got that for? Where you guys were?
Yeah, I was in Germany.
Okay.
Well, we went from Liechtenstein into Germany to Siegfried Line. That's where I got that.
Okay. Where did you get the Queen Victoria penny? You have no idea? That was in your box.
Well, that's probably one I brought back from Germany.
And it's 140 years old.
Yeah, it's from I scrubbed it. It's 1967. 1867. Victoria penny. So you went in 45. You were stateside before that?
Yeah, I went in 43.
Yeah, but you were here before you, because I don't know what your whole.
Well, I went overseas in 45.
Yeah. So.
It says on there, on the paper.
Yeah.
It says when I come back.
Yeah, in 46.
Mm-hmm.
And you were in the Coastal Artillery.
See, if it wasn't stateside, Amy, I wouldn't.
No, I was in the 76th Infantry Division.
Oh, because your photo, you got a Coastal Artillery badge.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was in anti-aircraft when I got that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what that means, yeah.
Yeah. I was also in the Air Force. But it don't say that on there
No,
either.
it doesn't say that either.
No.
I didn't know you was in the Air Force.
Well, yeah.
I thought they turned you down for the Air Force.
Well, I was in the Air Force before they turned me down.
Oh.
That's where she was started at.
Yeah, I'm Air Force, baby. That's what I said. He had to be stateside for me to be born.
Out in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you went in, you went to Camp Dodge first, right? Now that's the 113th, right?
Hmm?
Were you in the 113th?
No,
that's
that
where
was
they're
the
based.
induction center's all.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was the induction center.
What was this is cavalry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Were you in cavalry too?
Well, I was in that when I was in National Guard.
Oh, okay.
So you was in National Guard, Air Force, and
National Guard's last.
Oh, so
National Guard's last.
you were in the National Guard after
Yeah,
the
after
war.
the war.
And was that the 113th out of okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were like,
yeah, that was 113.
because we were like, why does he have a cavalry badge?
Yeah.
He was in Patton's Third Army, and they weren't cavalry.
Yeah. So you're still missing your bronze battle stars that go on this one, right, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't got that one
Because he
yet.
was in 2 campaigns.
That's the 2 campaigns.
It says you're supposed to have 2 bronze battle stars with it.
Well,
to go
See,
on
that's
the
what
ribbon.
I told you.
They didn't put them
You
on
should put
there.
on there.
Okay.
We'll send for it. We know how to do it.
Yeah, well, Grandpa Boswell's got a whole catalog, too, of stuff, so we can get his patches.
Well, we can get them from up at Veterans, they said, or the military records should send them to Dad.
Okay. Will they send, like, his unit patches and stuff?
Whatever Renee and I requested.
Oh, okay. Well,
See, we didn't request that because Renee and I thought it was his Bronze Star.
Yeah.
there's
so we didn't.
There's 2 little bronze battle stars.
Yeah,
that
there are
are
2
supposed to go
stars.
on the ribbon.
Amy's going to make a list.
That's a
Is this the guy up the Legion?
European
Gonna not
campaign.
dead
Yeah.
those?
Yeah, for
No,
the
the Veterans.
Rhineland
That's where we
campaign and the
faxed it
Central
to,
Europe
the
campaign.
records.
So
He said to
were
fax
you
all medals
considered-
you needed to that.
Still considered part of the Battle of the Bulge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to relieve them in the Battle of the Bulge.
Okay.
Before we got there, tank company had already come in and cleaned them out.
Okay.
See, that's why it doesn't say Ardennes on it.
That's the reason it's not on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then did you go all the way to Czechoslovakia then? Or where did
Well,
you...
we was within 12 miles of Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
We wound up in Chemnitz, Germany.
Oh.
That's as far as they'd let us go. We sat there 6 weeks waiting on the Russians.
So you guys met up with the Russians
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's what it said.
Yeah.
Big Russian tank company. And CO of that tank come crawling out of the tank. She's about 6'2" and must weigh 240. She's big.
It was
Really?
a woman?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how she got in that tank.
Roselma.
Yeah.
The Russians weren't picky after a while.
Yeah,
Well, we know one that's big like that.
She's one of my building head custodians.
Is she Russian?
I don't know. Her name's Funk. Is that German or Russian?
Funk? I think that's Austrian. That's what
It's
Athena's
Austrian.
name is. Well, what were some of the other questions we had?
Well, he doesn't have the American campaign medal like he's supposed to have.
Yeah, because you were stateside before that, so that
Is
would
that
that
the
be
one we sent
considered
for?
the American campaign? It says on here you're supposed to have it.
Yeah.
We sent for everything that's on that list except the Bronze Star.
You sent for the American campaign medal?
Mm-hmm.
No, he
Okay.
didn't get it.
See, Renee just faxed it to them.
Okay.
I didn't know I sent a list.
Remember, I called you at work and you said, tell me what you want to go with it? Because I've already faxed the thing. And that's what I told you.
So you went to school to be a baker too? A cook and baker for
28 weeks, yeah. I was a cook and baker.
That's why Grandpa's
when
food
I
is
was in
so
the
good.
aircraft. I was also a cook when I was in the Air Force.
So before you went to Europe, you were in the anti-aircraft. Then they switched you over to be infantry?
No, I went to the Air Force, and I went back to anti-aircraft.
Okay.
And then they done away with the anti-aircraft and shipped us all to the infantry.
So were you still a baker in the infantry? Were you,
No.
So you were just, you weren't in the support units.
I was also an instructor in Baker School.
Oh, we were?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was Camp Roberts, California.
So were you still considered a corporal then when you were in the infantry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a corporal when I got out.
Okay.
When I got out of the National Guard, I was a staff sergeant.
Well, what were the three, because you've got 3 bars off of your marksman. One's rifle, I know. Do you remember what the other 2 were?
I can't
read them. They're
That's too
so
long
small.
ago for me to remember.
Well, I got a magnifying out, and I can read the rifle. I think one says machine gun. Did you train on machine gun?
Yeah.
Well, if he was an anti-aircraft, one's probably the anti-aircraft batteries.
Oh.
Yeah, we had 40 millimeters.
Yeah, that's
Twin-
why he had the
Twin 40s.
lapel in the gun
Yeah.
he had,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yep.
it was anti-aircraft.
Twin 40s.
Okay.
That's why he had the cross cannons.
Yeah, that's one of them. It's got to be one of them is the anti-aircraft.
Yeah. Yeah, we
And
figured
that
that out.
was, you were coast defense, weren't
See,
you?
I went up to sign up to join the Navy Air Force,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't take no application, so they drafted me. So I'm out in California in an anti-aircraft outfit, and Mom sent me a letter that the Navy had sent her that I was supposed to have been in the Great Lakes Training Center 2 days before I got the letter.
That's efficient, isn't it?
So I went down and asked the captain, I said, what am I going to do with this letter? I'm supposed to be in the Great Lakes Training Center. We said, hell, if you're qualified for that, we've got an Air Force across the road, Morris Field just across the road in Camp Home. So they sent me over there, and the old colonel over there, he was a major general. I went down and seen his commanding officer of Camp Home, and he said, we'll just transfer you to Air Force. So I went over there and took a bunch of papers,
Did you?
took a bunch of tests, and they transferred me then to Buckley Field in Denver. There was 6,000 of us in that training group. We'd been training for, I think, about 13 weeks. A big order came down that they didn't need no more Air Force men. You could either go back to your old outfit or transfer to the infantry.
Yeah, this is what
I went back to
told
my
Dad
old
to
outfit.
write
2
down.
weeks later, they transferred the whole damn company to the infantry, so it didn't make any difference.
I just thought of something and then I forgot what it was.
And then I wound up as a mortarman overseas.
What's that?
That's,
Oh, it's
Those 60 millimeter mortar shells about that long.
Oh.
So one's rifle, one's anti-aircraft, and the other one's probably mortar. The
Probably.
3 marksman badges.
Maximum range about 2,200 feet, or 2,200 yards.
That's still pretty close.
So this is for combat in a small,
Less than a
less than a
brigade.
brigade.
Small arms fire, yeah,
how-
it's got to be.
How big is a brigade?
No, it's not like a company. It's less than.
See, that was our whole division.
Yeah.
They was all infantry.
Okay.
I was in the 385th Regiment.
Yeah.
It was the 76th Infantry Division.
Okay.
It was the 3rd Army.
Okay. Yeah, we were right then. We figured all that out. Although it's one place on the internet we found put it with the 85th.
Yeah, that was a mistake. That's gotta
Okay.
be an error.
Have you seen Grandpa's book that he got?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
And he's got his World War book.
he's got
two
his
books.
book all about his
2 of them.
whole unit and everything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, he's got 2 of them
He just
now.
got it. Not
Yes, I think
Did Logan?
Logan's got
did
it
Logan
now.
take it home?
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Logan takes and reads them.
Talks about every time they moved, what they did, and where they were, and who the commanders were, and
I remember you telling me a story about how the Germans mistook you, or your unit mistook you for a German.
Well, they done that when we went into that Siegfried line. We was an L company and K company. We was each one supposed to take a pillbox in that German Siegfried line.
Mm-hmm.
We took our pillbox and then K company tried to take it away from us. So they're putting satchel charges on the door trying to blow it open to get us out. We had a hell of a fight. Of course, that, inside that thing's all sat and dirt, and every one of them, man, you come out there, all you can see with your eyes.
Yeah.
You talk about black. Whew.
what was that? What are you talking about?
Siegfried line in Germany.
Pillbox is what Renee must know what you're talking
Well,
about.
that, ever so far along that reinforced line, they had pillboxes. That's where they had guns mounted in them.
Oh,
The
that's
holes.
what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Big concrete bunkers.
Big
Oh,
concrete bunkers.
Yeah, they placed them just right so the fire from the guns would cross each other and they cover the whole area.
Yeah. So we took our pillbox and the K company tried to take it away from us.
What else do we have?
Of course, hell, what time we got there, the Germans had done hauled out of there. There wasn't none of them there. It was empty.
Oh, the pillbox you took was empty.
Hmm?
The pillbox you took was empty.
Yeah. It was all empty.
Well, that was lucky.
That's why Patton committed them to the Battle of the Bulge, because the Siegfried line was empty and they could turn just right north. They was in one fight and Patton turned them north to go to another fight.
Patton was a little bit of a slave driver.
Patton was crazy.
Yes.
Patton was the same type of general as Custer was.
Mm-hmm.
Big me and to hell with the rest of you. If it hadn't been for General Bradley, they'd had Patton out of the Army.
Why?
Well, when he was down in that hospital in Italy where he slapped that kid who was in there for psychiatric treatment.
I
Said,
don't
ain't
know.
nothing wrong with you, get your ass back to the line.
Yeah,
Have you never seen the
he
movie
slapped
No,
Patton?
I've never seen the movie.
Pat,
Patton.
Pat was visiting a hospital, and one of the patients there was there for combat stress, and Patton thought he was a coward and slapped him
Yeah.
in front of all the reporters.
Because
And then
because
ordered him out, and if he didn't get out,
Yeah.
he'd shoot him.
Yeah, and just about every interview Patton gave to reporters, he was always shooting his mouth off.
Well, that's all he knew.
you need to watch the movie Patton, Amy.
Okay.
He's just like
George C. Scott.
Custer was.
It's all about
They
glory.
tried to tell Custer and he wouldn't listen. He found out, but then he wouldn't listen.
And your dad's grandpa, was it your dad's grandpa that was in
Grandma's.
Custer? Your grandma's.
Davison side.
Yeah,
Was
that
in
was the
Custer's
bugler
army.
for Custer's army. Yeah.
No, he was
You
a
know that?
blacksmith. All the
He was a
Davisons
blacksmith.
were blacksmiths.
Blacksmith? I
Yes.
thought he was a bugler.
No, your grandpa's the one that's a bugler.
Oh.
Was he in the Indian campaigns? Custer's bugler in the Indian campaigns, or
No,
the
he
Civil
was
War?
a blacksmith with Custer. I don't know.
In fact, there was a big argument about him and another soldier who were the last ones from the 7th Cavalry.
So he was at
That was
Little Big
my
Horn?
thing, because it's
No.
his birthday.
Oh, okay.
He's
He
not
was left
shaving.
behind because he was the blacksmith,
Oh, okay.
but he was still part of the 7th Cavalry.
So he wasn't in the actual Indian War battles.
No, he was back at the fort, and that's why there was an argument about him
Did
being
you
one
ever
of the last soldiers.
see that
Oh.
battleground?
Uh-uh.
That's
That's
quite a
something to
place
see.
too.
Up in South Dakota.
It was actually not that far from us. We could
It's
take
pretty.
a
It's
peek and-
really interesting. Really is.
I told you I wanted to go.
I've never seen the.
A lot of them were buried right where they died.
Yeah. I've never seen the Badlands either. I'd like to see that. Is that North Dakota or South Dakota?
South Dakota. It's
South
all
Dakota.
around the same place.
South Dakota is really an interesting place to go.
That's where I want to take Bowman if he'll ever go on a vacation in the United States.
Well, we're in Minnesota. So
I'd
not
like
far
to
over
see
there.
that crazy horse sculpture.
Yeah, it should be done now.
No.
No,
Not yet.
what they say.
They
It's
have
got to be better than it was the first time
Oh,
I
yeah.
seen it.
they have the head and part of an arm and the horse's head. They at the current rate of funding, they said it'll be done in about 240 years.
Because I know when I first seen it, it was just the
If they
rock.
continue it.
Well, when they
shape.
first started it, it wasn't even on the same mountain.
Nope, that's right.
They moved it.
When I first seen it, it was on the original start.
So
The damn cliffs caved off, so they had to move.
Mm-hmm.
were you part of the company that liberated the concentration camps? Okay.
Who, Ginger?
Yeah.
Was that the camp in
Me
Austria?
and coffee still
No,
ain't going
Germany.
yet. I'm
Which-
still
which-
on
do you know
ginger
which
ale.
camp?
Bastogne.
Do you know which camp it was?
Bastogne.
Oh, well, that's the that's the Bastogne defense. That's the 101st Airborne. That's not the concentration camp.
Oh.
In the Bulge, the 101st Airborne got surrounded at Bastogne,
Yeah.
and then Patton's Third Army had to leave the Siegfried Line and went north to relieve them
Okay.
because they were the unit that got completely surrounded by the Germans.
We went to that Berchtesgaden too,
Mm-hmm.
concentration camp.
Berchtesgaden.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people there when you got there, Dad?
No, most of them when we got there was dead, but they had a damn pit about as long as a football field
Full of bodies.
where they throwed the bodies in quick lime, and all you could see was the bones.
Oh, goodness. Well, didn't you tell me one time you went in somewhere and in the basement there was a nun and a bunch of little kids or something? Or in a church or something?
Well, that was in a one of those castles over there in Germany.
Oh. And they was hiding a bunch of...
Yeah, we tied up the goddamn rope to the trees to get up there. Then round on the other side, hell, was a road went right up to it. We crawled up through the brush and the rain. Got up there, and there must have been, probably 75 German soldiers up there, which are all amputees. And the castle was full of kids, all war orphans.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
And that was in Germany?
Yeah.
In Germany. So where did you land when you got there? Where did you first...
Where'd I land?
Yeah.
I landed in Scotland,
Okay. And then...
off of the USS West Point.
So you...
It was at one time the USS America. They converted to a troop ship.
Okay. And then did you go
We
to...
got off the boat in Scotland, got on a train and went to Southampton, England. Got on a ship and went to Le Havre, France.
Okay. And then there you joined the lines? From
And
there?
we went from Le Havre, France to Liechtenstein.
Is that where you got
Yeah.
the mark?
No, that mark's probably German.
Luxembourg.
See, Dave, I have a baby dress made out of a German flag.
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Dad brought it back, and Grandma Van made me a baby dress.
I shipped it back.
Connie's got it.
Huh. I didn't know that.
I don't know how they got it. I just know I have a baby dress made out of a German flag.
Well, that flag was probably big as the side of my garage.
Really?
You shipped it back?
Yeah.
Huh.
Sent it in the mail. I had it, and I had a brand new leather German Panzer outfit. German leather pants and jacket. I shipped them back. Suppose they never did get here.
They never, I know.
No,
Mom
them
said-
goddamn guy that drove the Jeep, he shipped them home for me, but he shipped them to his place.
No, Mom got the flag because Grandma made me. Connie's got the dress.
We got them out of the factory.
It's red and has a little white lace down it.
I had no idea.
I don't know if I ever had any pictures taken
that-
in it, but I know.
That flag came off of that Hitler youth camp that we sat and waited on the Russians in.
Oh, you were waiting in a Hitler youth camp.
Yeah. Waiting for the Russians.
Wait.
We was just across the Autobahn from Chemnitz.
So,
They wouldn't let us go in town. We had to sit there. We couldn't go to town. Had to
So-
wait for the Russians.
Was that in North Germany or Southern Germany?
It was only 12 miles from Czechoslovakia.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So was it a camp where they trained Hitler Youth?
Well, honey,
It's just like a Boy Scout
the
camp.
Hitler Youth was like the Boy Scouts.
Well, I
Just
knew
like
that, but I wasn't sure how militant they trained.
No,
they-
it was just a
Okay.
camp for boys.
They taught you how to be a good little fascist.
There
Yeah, a
was a
little
big,
propaganda camp. Yeah.
there must have been, they probably had a couple hundred kids there, I suppose, at one time.
And it was compulsory. You were
'Cause it was
required.
big.
You were required
Were
to
there
be in
any-
the Hitler Youth.
Were there any kids still there when you got
No,
there?
no.
It was empty?
No, it was empty.
Okay. Then once you met up with the Russians, what happened?
That was it.
That was it? You were
Then
done?
they had a big party, and the Russians furnished the drinks. And you know what they were drinking?
Vodka?
Radiator alcohol.
Oh, gee.
Good Russians.
Well, if anybody would do it, I'd say it would be the Russians.
Yeah, they were going to furnish the drinks. That's what they had.
Because you met up with the Russians just a couple days before the war ended, right?
Well, yeah.
Before VE Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was just a few days, but yep, it was just about over before they showed up. We could have went on into Czechoslovakia, they wouldn't let us. Said that's as far as you get to go. And then we turned right around after that now. We were right next to Chemnitz, which is pretty close to the border of Germany. We went back to Chemnitz 140 some mile.
Mm-hmm.
And they give all that part of Germany to the Russians.
Yeah, you probably couldn't be there, after the Russians took over. You said you probably couldn't be there after
Well,
the
hell
Russians
no,
took
that
over.
the Russians took over. That was in East Germany. You couldn't
Yeah.
get into it.
Yeah.
That's where they put the wall up through Berlin.
Yeah.
But if you watch the film, Amy, it says in the film that the reason why they stopped everybody is because they ran out of supply and fuel,
Yeah.
and so actually they gave it to the British, so the British could mount a campaign. They gave all the fuel to the British,
Well, I have to
so
watch it.
Montgomery could do his thing.
I carried those mortar shells. We had 12 of them.
Yeah.
That was your load. And then you carried a carbine on top of that.
Carried a what?
Carbine. That's like a little rifle.
Oh, okay.
About like a 22. It's 30 caliber, but then that
Those shells had to weigh quite a bit.
Hmm?
I said those shells would have to weigh
3
quite a
pound
bit.
apiece with the case. That's 36 pounds.
That's a lot to carry.
Yeah.
A little short distance would be fine.
That's
but-
how I got my hernia.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you pretty much marched
I
from
cleaned your
Luxembourg
Christ.
all the way over to...
Biggest part of the way, yeah. They had us trying to catch the 4th Armored Division. We was on foot. They was dropping them gasoline by an airplane, and we're supposed to catch up to them.
That's about 800 miles from Luxembourg
Yeah.
to Czechoslovakia.
You did a lot of walking.
Yeah.
There probably was a lot wrong with his feet, too.
Get a lot of blisters?
You know, blister by the Achilles tendons,
What's that?
Achilles tendons in the heels.
Oh, yeah.
Very painful.
Well, when did you get your foot hurt?
When I was coming back from Germany, riding the troop train, they backed the goddamn thing in on sight, and I was sitting in the door. They about tore my foot off.
None of those are in your records either, are they?
They burnt.
No, this is apparently all that they have. I mean,
Yeah,
some
because
people-
They burnt
everything
St. Louis.
Yeah.
On
See,
wheels.
See, Mike's record of his surgery out
His heart surgery.
is gone.
That's like Dad said, just convenient burp.
Well, that's it, clear up to 1963.
Yeah, it says everybody from Hubbard through Z from 47 to 63.
That includes 8 L's.
The fire destroyed the major portion of Army military personnel for the period 1912 to 1959, and records of Air Force personnel with surnames Hubbard to Z from 47 to 63. So,
A lot of people.
Very convenient fire.
Except
yeah?
he got out in 46, so even that letter's wrong.
no,
Yeah.
1912
No.
through 1959.
Got it.
From 12 to 59.
So a good chunk of 2 wars
Well,
got.
that's why my 214 is frag
3
wars.
wars.
Good chunk of 3 wars
3
is
wars,
gone.
yeah.
Yeah, because some of my records were burnt.
you're supposed to wonder how many $1 million the government saved on that because you couldn't.
Oh,
You
I
can't
bet
prove anything.
You can't file a claim because you can't prove it.
Dad, it's got to be in a billion
Oh,
dollars.
yeah.
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 Yeah, and see, I didn't go in till 65.
Yeah, and this is 63.
I didn't know. I thought David was in the Korean War. He wasn't. He went in after the Korean War.
Oh, I know
Well,
Counterman was.
I know we got out of the
Counterman
service
was in Korea.
whenever they were going through
Well,
the
Leo
Vietnam
was
War
too.
started.
Yeah.
But Davy didn't go into 57.
Were there any other questions that you had on? I can't remember now.
Well, after VE Day, where were you stationed over in Europe? Because you didn't come back for another.
Well, they took our division, and the guys didn't have enough points. They took us down to Camp Lucky Strike down to La Havre. We were supposed to catch a ship to Japan.
Oh yeah. They were going to transfer you to the
Okay,
the Pacific campaign.
when they found out I was a cook, we had a military prison over there, 2913 Disciplinary Training Center. Said, we need you here. So they shipped me over there to Amiens, France. It was a GI prison.
So originally they were going to ship you to Japan,
Yeah.
and then they decided you were a cook, so they sent you to the GI prison.
So they went over there, and I had 40 Germans doing the cooking.
You were commanding 40 Germans?
Yeah, I had 40 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Could they speak English?
Most of them didn't.
Oh.
Might be 3 or 4 of them out of the bunch.
That must have been interesting.
Oh, it was.
They cook, you cook right?
You had to get the one that could speak English and tell the rest of them. Yeah, they, I don't know whether you read it in the paper or not about the official hangman for the Army. Well, the paper says he was from Texas, but he wasn't. He was from Salina, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Master Sergeant. And he was the official hangman. He's the one that hung the ones from Nuremberg.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. We had a black guy there in prison, and they'd sentenced him to death. Big guy. He drove a truck. He picked up some little French gal and raped her. Then he run over with the truck, and he wasn't sure she was dead, so he backed over and run over again.
So this was a camp for GIs, American GIs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a
Oh,
POW camp. It's a
It
jail
was-
for GIs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He had 5 guys in there that stole the train.
Stole a train?
Whole damn train.
What were they doing with it?
Well, all the stuff that was on them cars. Hell, a lot of them had fruit and
Yeah. I suppose.
candy and
Yeah.
whatever was on there.
Huh.
There was a track that had run through a tunnel that had been blowed up during the war, and they got a bunch of them laid the track back in there, and they stole the train, run it in the tunnel, and blew the track up behind it. They caught them.
Well, no wonder we have weirdos today in the military that do
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, weirdness has been in the military for many, many years, I'm sure.
Well, into one town over there, there's a freight train there. Opened the boxcar, and it was full of Dutch chocolate.
Oh, I remember Dad talking about
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Candy bars.
Uh-huh.
Everybody had all they could carry.
That's the one story I always remember
They
Dad
found
telling about the
another
candy
car
bars.
was the canned peaches.
Yeah? Well, what kind of rations were you guys eating at that time?
K rations.
What's that?
Well, you get a box about like a Cracker Jack box.
Uh-huh.
And there's a little round can about that big. One of them had chopped egg yolk and ham. One of them had cheese with bacon. One of them had corn pork loaf with carrot and apple flakes.
Pretty bad stuff.
That wasn't the greatest.
That was worse than dog food.
So the peaches and the candy Dad said
Oh,
was
yeah.
good.
I had a kid with me that couldn't eat it. He couldn't eat cheese.
Lactose
That's
intolerant.
great.
So I traded him that corn pork loaf for his cheese. So he eat 2 of them a day, and I eat 2 cheese a day.
What did you tell about the time about
We had 128 days of them before we got
Oh,
a
man.
meal.
one of the places you got where you got the chickens or the eggs or something?
We always steal them now.
He was talking about.
You
One of the
take
guys.
one shell out of them. One of them cases, you know, your shells goes in.
Mm-hmm.
You take one shell out, you fill that full of hard-boiled eggs.
Ah.
You wonder that we didn't all die, but we had a hell of a lot of them.
Had to have some protein.
Well, yeah.
You go into a house and 2 guys go to the attic, 2 guys go to the basement, and then 2 guys took the ground floor. The ones up in the attic, they kept all their small grains up in the attic.
Uh-huh.
And if they had any booze hid, it was hid in that grain. You just take your bayonet and run back through there. You hear them bottles clink while they was gone. They had a hole about this big a square in the chimney, and that's where they hung their meat to smoke.
Mm.
So the 2 guys went to the attic, they checked that out. 2 guys went to the basement, see what was down there. Once in a while you'd find a couple jars of jelly or something.
So how many people were in, like, when you're marching, how many of you guys are marching in together at a time?
I think that the company at that time was, now let's see, there was 3 platoons of infantry. There was 1 platoon of mortars and 30 caliber light machine guns. So there was 4 platoons to the battery.
Yeah, how many guys per platoon?
About 40.
Let's
How many?
see.
About 40.
There'd be 3, about 45
Okay.
to each platoon.
So there's a fair number of you.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah. You're talking probably 300, 350 people to the
Okay.
company. That was not even counting the officers. Of
Okay.
course, you had to throw them in too.
How worthwhile were they?
We had one was a good one.
Yeah.
He was from Maine, the state of Maine. Frenchman. Last name Gaudier. About 6'2" and probably weighed 220. And we had a smart aleck from Texas down there that he knew it all. So he challenged to a boxing match. A guy like to kill him. He didn't know that captain had been a
Gold gloves?
gold in the
Olympic?
in the college boxing championship. He didn't. There wasn't nobody else challenging him. We got into a minefield. He got pretty well banged up, and they sent him back for R&R, and we got a captain from the field artillery. Didn't know shit. So that's where we lost most of our company.
Was when the captain came in?
We got up 5 o'clock in the morning, and there's a stream about from here to my garage, wide, and about that deep. There's ice on the bank. So you wade that. Then you lay up there in the goddamn trees and like to freeze to death. You don't dare build a fire. So the rifle companies went into town, and he radioed back for the heavy weapons company. So we started into town. We got about halfway into town, and the Krauts had 7 tanks.
Oh, jeez.
We didn't have any.
Oh, jeez.
They radioed the field artillery for support. They were moving the guns. We didn't have any. Lost about half the company.
Jeez. That's a lot of men.
When I went into that town, I was the number 4 ammo bearer. When I left, I was the gunner.
Do you know what town that was?
Hmm?
Do you know the name of the town?
I couldn't tell you what the name of it was.
Huh. And that was in Germany? Or,
Yeah,
it was
that
in
was
Germany?
in Germany. Wasn't a very big town, but them Krauts had waited on us till we got out in that open field, and then they counterattacked. Yeah, I lost corporal and a sergeant, a staff sergeant, a tech sergeant.
Because of his stupidity.
Yeah.
How
So
long?
that night, what guys was left, he had his command post set up in his house, and somebody threw a hand grenade through the window. And he left early the next morning before daylight, because somebody would have killed him.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So you got somebody else after that?
Hmm?
You got somebody else in there
Our
after
captain
that?
came back. Yeah.
Oh,
What was left of us?
I bet he was pissed.
Yeah, it was.
Yeesh.
That's them good old days they keep talking about.
How long have you been in country when that happened? How long in your marching? How far in were you?
Oh, we had just crossed the Moselle River. Just that day before that.
Okay.
And we were supposed to go across. They had put up a ponton bridge. We got across the river, and they were supposed to go till next morning. And hell, the next morning we'd done run out of map. We still hadn't seen nobody.
Huh.
And that guy was telling me about the driving the Jeep. He pulled a trailer with our ammunition in it. So he went across, and I got a little bit ahead of us. He run into this town. He's going up the street, and hell, he looked up, and all they could see was Kraut tanks going the other way. Well, he wasn't long getting the hell out of there.
So you were actually fighting in Germany before.
Oh, yeah.
The,
Yeah, yeah, when we went up that Siegfried line, we was in Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, the Siegfried line was Germany. Honey.
Okay.
That's the whole bulge. The whole bulge was that they managed to kick them most of the way out of France, and the Siegfried line was the last defense before you got into Germany.
See, the Maginot line was in France.
And the German offensive was to bust out of the Siegfried line back into France
Yeah.
and try and knock out as many of the Americans as they could.
Okay.
So which celebrity was with you, Red Buttons or Red Skelton?
Red Skelton when I was out in California.
Was
Yeah.
in California with
Well,
you.
Grandpa Boswell said he knew Red Skelton too.
So
He said he knew him before he went in the war. He'd been to his house.
Oh, really?
I didn't even know that.
That's all he would elaborate about. He wouldn't say anything else.
Well, Dad's talking more about the war than I've ever heard him talk about.
Yeah. Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's stuff that our generations after us want to know.
Well, see,
yeah.
Logan and them love to talk to Dad. Logan does about to Dad. He's the one that gets Dad's books and reads them.
Well, and Dave knows all of this stuff about the war that I have no clue about. And he asks me questions, and I don't know. So that's why I'm like, well, we need to talk to Grandpa, because I don't know.
See, Bill Amos, that Frank Amos that's married to Peg,
Yeah.
his brothers. Well, I went to high school with him. In fact, he's our president of our high school class.
Yeah.
He landed in Normandy.
On Omaha?
One of the few guys that made her.
That made it.
Made it through, huh?
Yeah.
What year did you graduate, Dad?
42.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we got a 65th class reunion this year.
So what year did you and Grandma get married in 42 then?
43.
When? In October 43? Because it says your date of induction's March 43, but you're already listed as married.
Well, they put that on there afterwards.
Oh.
It wasn't on there to start with.
No, this is his discharge paper.
Discharge
Sonny.
paper. That's why he was married.
He's not married when he went in. He's married now that they're discharged.
Oh, no, he's discharged.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we were
Yeah.
couldn't figure out last night. Because
Yeah.
I was asking Mom about dates, and the two didn't match up for me.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Okay.
I wasn't married when it went in.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
That can't be right. Because
And
October.
The good part of that was they give us our marriage license,
Yeah.
and I had to send them in, and I sent the originals, and the damn nut down in Missouri that made them out spelled my first name H-O-H-N.
On instead of John.
That's smart.
But I finally got a a copy of them.
Correction.
What?
Is this an active status from March 43, from 24th of March 43 to 30th March 43 when they sent you over to the Air Force?
I went to Camp Dodge, and then I got to come home for a week before we actually inducted us, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, Bob Smith, Kay's husband, went with me on the bus up there. He joined the Maroons. He never got home. They took him right now. That's Kay's husband, Bob. Yeah, we went up on the same bus. Ed Walker, Marvin Rona, he got poked in the eye with a pool cue with chalk, and they wouldn't take him because his eye was all red. They didn't take him till later.
These are Dad's, but I remember these guys as Dad when I was little.
We was all born the same month, the same year. Me and Ed Walker and Marvin Rona. And we're all three still alive.
Yeah.
Ed, he was down in Italy. He came back battle fatigue.
Where are they at now, Ed?
Well, Ed lives over south, and so does Marv. Marv lives over there on Webster.
Okay. I didn't know.
I don't know where Ed lives.
So it says military occupation specialty meat cutter. So is that what your specialty was in?
No, that's what I was when I went in.
He was a meat cutter.
Well, it says meat packer under civilian
Well,
No,
occupation.
that's the civilian occupation. This is what he was trained to do.
Okay.
But it doesn't list that he was in the mortar.
See, when I wound up as cook in baker school, and I was a cook, we had to cut all of our meat. We got
Yeah.
it in carcasses.
Yeah. Well, you already knew how to do that.
Yeah, they don't even say in there about me going to mess sergeant school either.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
It doesn't show his Air Force. It doesn't show that he was in the
It
infantry.
doesn't show the Air Force.
It doesn't show that he did mortar.
Yeah.
Because he was in the mortar company.
It's all burned up.
Yeah.
See, I was in the rifle company, but we had a mortar section, 40 millimeter. Now the M company, they were heavy weapons. They had 81 millimeter, and they had the heavy water-cooled machine guns. So they're different company.
Well,
M company.
I'm wondering how many guys are still alive with World War II. Because I know I seen a thing on TV about it. The World War II veterans.
I think the last World War I just died, didn't he, Mike?
Yeah, I heard that on the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Dad's book, if you ever read it, tells
last
about
woman.
how many men they're gone, and so it's just really interesting.
Last woman vet died.
You got the first one over there, don't you?
There's
I
five.
think they
there's
brought
five.
it back. It's in the
I know
clothes
he
closet
did. I know
over
he
there.
did. I know he doesn't have the first one.
One mail company.
I'm pretty sure Todd took the second one for him to read.
Dave just said there's 5 World War I veterans still left.
The last female veteran died this
Recently.
week.
Well, I remember Grandpa Van and his military stuff.
Yeah.
Grandpa Van.
Oh, we need to talk to Joyce about getting that picture so that we can get copies made of that.
Grandpa, I don't even have a picture of Grandpa Van.
Of what?
Grandpa Van.
Grandpa
she's got
Van
it.
in his World War I uniform.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Joyce has got it.
Well, I had it here for a long time, but then she saw it was here and said that, well, she felt that she should have that because she was closer to Grandpa than me. And I
he was
said,
inducted.
Joyce, if you want
Yeah.
that picture,
Then he
I
went
don't
home.
care.
I don't see. I like how she got so close to Grandpa Van. I was the one that went down there all the time. Bruce never
So
did.
that's what the difference is.
You know, I was just 4. You know, I remember Grandpa very well. I remember Grandpa Lehman probably better than I do Grandpa Van.
Yeah.
Because we were closer to him.
I remember Grandpa Lehman always pecking on the window, going to work, coming home.
Bringing home the little lambs. And he always had something in his pocket or his lunchbox for us. It didn't matter if it was half a cookie or half a cracker. He always had something for us.
I remember when he's over here helping Dad build that root on John Whack. Joy's at the top of the head with him.
They sent me that, and I've got 2 copies of that.
This one?
Like,
Yeah, I'm going to put one of these in the back of this so that it all stays together.
But I got 2 copies of that.
he's got 2 of the original, Dad does, and 2 of the smaller ones, original.
Of this?
Yeah, if
Okay.
you don't want one rather than a copy.
Okay.
I got them all over there in the safe.
But all his citations and all that stuff are gone. Right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Fire, all the citations.
They would have been in the record.
Because you-
This is all he's got. This.
Because you need a citation from an officer to get a combat infantryman badge.
So he has none of that. It's in the records.
You're-
This is all Dad has. Is this?
Do you remember what the citation was for the? Yeah.
I know I had that in about a week.
After getting there?
Yeah. Didn't take long. Paid a whole $10 a month more.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money, too.
Yeah, I was getting $50 a month. Big payday once a month.
Mustering out pay, is that what they paid you when you left?
Yep.
So you got $300. And they gave you $100 when they
Yeah.
discharged you.
That's what I bought that house with. I bought all the time I was overseas. I bought a war bond a month.
Oh, did you?
And they took $28 for Gwen for her allotment.
Mm-hmm.
And then they took $6.50 out for insurance.
So Dad didn't have a whole lot.
You had to
left in
pay
his
your own
pocket.
insurance. Hell, I only got $3 a month while I was overseas.
Yeah, it says-
You wouldn't know way to spend it.
Premium due each month, $650.
I think that's now why the military and stuff after that war and stuff went to where they paid for insurance. You're over there fighting and dying, don't even have insurance.
Now you had to pay your own. If you didn't pay it, you didn't have any.
I know it.
And yet it was Army doctors and Army hospitals.
And all that was a goddamn rip-off to the insurance companies, just like it is for Medicare now.
Yeah.
That's like Dad when Bill and I got out of the military. I was pregnant before, but we paid for Connie. I think it cost us the whole $500. Doctor said all. If Dad and them helped us, but otherwise he'd have went to Vietnam. So we got out of the military.
Yeah.
Casey's doctor and hospital together was $365.
Yeah.
And when Amy was born, her hospital alone was $365.
Well, if we have a kid, it's going to
About
cost us about...
$5,000.
About $5,000 with insurance.
With insurance.
No, $2,000.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to my parents and go, you wanted it, you pay for it.
And I guarantee you, she'll be writing you a check.
Oh,
if they keep
tell
them
ya.
coming.
And then she's
Carol
going to say,
had-
give me the baby for the first 2 years.
You know,
Yes,
Carol
yes.
had the baby, Connie, Jordan's godmother, and it's a little boy. Connie was there, and Carol's husband was holding the baby and kept saying, "Here, Connie."
What is, Grandpa,
And
what
he
is
says,
this?
"Mom, I
The
started crying. I
ASR
couldn't hold
store?
that baby." She said,
I couldn't tell you what it
You don't
is.
know
She
what it
says, "I hope I can hold Brian." I said,
Well, whatever it
"Honey,
was 58.
You'll
That's
be
right.
I don't know what it
You'll
is.
be
Was that
That
could that have been
baby.
like the
Yeah.
you take one of those
And, Pam already
exams
said,
when you enlisted?
"Well,
Yeah, but
get ready
when
to
I
babysit."
took one of them, when they took it, and whatever the hell it was 132, whatever it was.
Well, this was taken September 45. That was while he was in Europe.
Oh, I don't know.
Did,
Yeah, because that's not the ASVAB, because I took the ASVAB, and that's not even the right scoring system on that. That's how they wanted me to go into artillery. They went, oh my God, you can do this. And I was like, no, I want to go to college.
Your grandpa's pretty smart. He whizzed geometry and stuff in school.
Which is why he was probably in artillery.
yeah.
Or in
Not me. I
mortar.
hated math.
Oh, I hated-
But I hated math.
I'm pretty good at numbers.
We had a sergeant on one of them mortars was the best damn mortarman I ever seen. We went into one started going into a town, and there was a bunch of corn shucks, row of them down along the creek, and they wasn't corn shucks. There's Germans and all of them. And we had a rifle company that had started across that creek was pinned down there. And the captain said, "Do you reckon you can get them guys out of there?" And he said, "Well, I think so." He said, "Give me 3 rounds." Well, the first one he fired was long, of course. He didn't want to hit the guys in the ditch. The second one took the cornstalk out.
Wow.
The third one took another one out. They hauled ass in a hurry. I never seen anybody as good as he was one of them. I think if you could put your hat over it, you could put one in it.
Huh.
He was just that good. Sergeant Roselle.
You weren't that good.
No. They just told me what set it at. I didn't. That's all I had to do. Set on a base and had 2 legs, and you had to.
Now, when you started, were you the loader, or were you the...
You just started with. You just carried the ammo.
Oh, okay. Because a mortar team's what, 4 guys?
1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're squad leader.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a sergeant over them. That's where Sergeant Roselle came in. He was staff sergeant. He was a buck sergeant.
But you said eventually you were made a gunner.
Yeah, because 3 of them got hit. One of them got killed. That's where I lost the squad leader.
Mm-hmm.
Our tech sergeant, he got a piece of shrapnel in his throat. He never did come back. We carried him out.
I see Robin.
There were a lot of robins never left this year.
Really?
Wasn't that cold down here, Amy?
That's not good.
Those martins didn't stay around very long yesterday.
That was just scouts. They'll be back.
Well, they did come in yesterday.
Yeah,
we
she
had
said
3.
3 of them.
I know Dad and I were wondering because they were really late coming back.
There
Yeah,
was
they-
3 of them, but they didn't stay very long.
They come back early last year.
Yeah.
They didn't this year.
So they send scouts to check out locations?
to make
About
sure
a week
they're-
before the rest of them get here.
to make sure that their houses are still here where they were years before. And
Really?
Yep.
pretty amazing little
Yeah,
birds.
there's 3 of them sitting up on the antenna just hollering and making all kinds of noise.
Yep. Them things is all faded, ain't they?
Yeah. But these were the original ones you were given, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They all were.
Because these all are supposed to have ribbons above them too, aren't they?
Supposedly, yeah.
These are supposed to all have separate bar ribbons above them, right?
To wear on your uniform.
Yeah.
That's separate.
So you need those.
Well, we'll write up a list and give it to Mom and Ginger. And
If those don't come, then
If
we'll
they don't come, then we'll get them from
again.
that book.
And
Yeah.
then these overseas service bars as well.
yeah, the 2 overseas service bars.
Well, that case opens, Dad, and
Yeah.
then Virginia. I meant that other
Oh,
one
this
you
one?
got. The,
Yeah.
Virginia's got some blue velvet that Amy made Ed's with, and she's going to put the blue velvet in there, and then she'll just mount all your.
And then I'll leave space for the stuff that Mom and Ginger are getting for you.
And the unit patches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and your unit patches and
Well, I better go take my blade off and
corporal stripes.
put it back on.
Just got to do some more grinding on him. He said that's what he's doing, changing blades.
Did you make corporal before you shipped over, or
Oh,
after
yeah,
you
yeah.
shipped over?
I made PFC. I was only in 13 days.
Oh wow.
I had to be a PFC to go to Cooks and Baker School.
Oh okay.
And I had to be a corporal to go to mess sergeant school.
And that was a tech corporal, right?
Yeah, T5.
T5.
Now, weren't you, when you were over there, because I know it's something you never really talked a whole lot about, and you've mentioned it, but you've never really discussed it. Didn't your friend get shot right next to you?
Well, yeah, I lost my sergeant.
Because I knew they were right next to that.
And did you ever catch any shrapnel or you never were injured?
Just must cut the lace out of my shoes.
Yeah, I remember they
That's
said all I got
No
was a
purple
shoe.
heart.
Yeah.
Just the laces.
Don't
Well,
don't
you
get
don't need a
purple
purple
heart.
heart, Dad. You know
I
what you got.
had a field jacket that had the rifles. It was an 88 down the back of it. It was a dud, or I wouldn't have been here.
Really?
Yeah.
That was in that
Isn't that
Siegfried line.
Yeah, the Siegfried line. Yeah.
Well, he had some close calls.
Really? Well, besides that time.
Yeah. Having everybody laid out in front of you.
We, the 94th Infantry relieved us one time. They were telling me I got off the front line. We had 128 straight days.
You were on the front line the whole time you were there.
Yeah, 128 days, one row.
Wow.
And the 94th relieved us. I hear these guys come up, they still had their ties on. So Lieutenant pulls up alongside of us in his Jeep. And that old sergeant we had said, Lieutenant said, I'd be a little careful. He said, the Germans are laying a few mines. Mines hell, they're retreating too fast. And he must have went about from here to the Union office up the road. Went up there and there he sat in his Jeep. He wasn't hurt, but it blew every goddamn tire off them Jeeps. That old sergeant looked at him and said, "Say, Lieutenant, look like they ain't moving too fast yet to leave any." Just kept walking.
That looks like an episode of MASH. I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Blew the tires right out and under that Jeep. There he sat. His mouth open.
Maybe who did that episode on MASH seen that?
I know, I've seen that, haven't you, Mike? Didn't they do that once
Yeah.
on MASH? I swear they did.
I see now they're starting to use robots over in Iraq.
Well, now they got a charge they'll shoot out from a cannon that's like a big string of explosives, and the whole like it's like shooting a rope.
Yeah.
And the whole rope will lay down, and then they'll blow the whole rope's full of explosives, and they'll blow it all up, and you just walk where the rope was because there's nothing there now.
Well, that's
We
cool
just need to
idea.
get out of there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We should have never been in there in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I got friends over there right now.
Yeah. Well, we don't even know what Doug's doing.
No, I know he's there.
He has
That's
a
enough.
friend in special ops.
You ought to
It's
see,
not good.
you ought to see Randy the other day. He came home. And I said, "What's the matter?" Oh, he said, "I'm training the kid up there from Indian Hills on the machine." And he says that the country's never been as good a shape as it is since Bush has been president. Well, he came home the next day, and some old guy that works up there about due to retire. Randy told him what this kid said. And boy, that guy had mounted him, and he followed him clear through the goddamn plant,
Tell
just
him.
chewing his hair. He said, since he's been in office, it's just cost me about $100,000 in my retirement pension.
Uh-huh. Yep.
That's it. That guy never shut up. He just kept going after that kid.
That kid's in the wrong profession if he's a Republican. I hate to tell you, you don't want to go in and be a plant worker if you're a Republican.
No.
Really, union people tend not to be Republican.
No
Oh,
kid.
surprise.
Kid, Boney gets to go up Thursday for his fingerprinting for his naturalization.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's excited.
Where's he going to go to get that done?
We got to go to Des Moines.
Des Moines?
Federal Building. And
That's the only place. That's the only place
his
in
friend,
Iowa that
his
does
friend
it.
just got his. Aziz got his and brought me their certificate to look at, and I congratulated him. And it has the letter from President Bush, you know. So I had Bomedy. Well, I just tested Bomedy, and Connie was there too. And I said, "Read it." He says, "What do you mean?" I said, "Read it out loud." Connie says, "Bomedy, you'll make it. You're really doing lots better," because
He read the whole thing?
He read the first paragraph. He says, "I think that's enough." And Aziz says, "Yeah, Bomedy, you're learning," because he has to read English, write it, and stuff to get it.
Yeah.
And
Hell, you gotta learn more stuff to be a naturalized citizen than.
then we know here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I know. I thought, because
I saw the test my friend had to take in high school, and I was like, oh my god, I wouldn't pass this.
well, what Bomedy's got now, I thought, man, I don't know what all the stripes meant for, and all why we're red, white, and blue. Oh, that's what you expect me. And thank goodness I was born here.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, thank goodness they can't take it away from you once you get it.
Yeah. It's tough. I thought, gee.
Well, I guess I'll go get my blade on my lawnmower, and I'll be done with that.
Okay. Well,
You
thanks
need
for
some
telling
help?
me that, Grandpa.
Do you need some help with that?
No, I'm out there with him, and I
All
swept
got
out
do
for him
is
to
take
put
a
his
little bolt
lawnmower in.
and grind a little off of one corner and put it back.
He says, you can pick it up at the dustbin. I said, no, I'm choking, I quit.
I'll bring this over this afternoon once I get it all
There you
together.
go. All right.
Yeah.
That's all she's got planned today.
Yeah. I'm going to go over to Grandma's and
Oh,
get
Mike, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Dad.
I said, it was, you must be the birthday boy. You ain't shaved today. This is the first time I've never seen you not shaved.
He doesn't shave on the weekend unless he's going somewhere.